Hi, I'm Michelle Nguyen, and I will be talking about Australia's health and nutrition. So, starting with the Australian diet, in the 2011 to 2013 Australian Health Survey, it was shown that carbohydrates make up the largest percentage of energy uptake, following with fat, protein, alcohol, and dietary fiber. Almost half of the carbohydrates that are in their diet comes from sugar that is either naturally present in their food or from added sugars. The most common form of natural sugar is from fruit, while the added sugars come from soft drinks, flavored mineral waters, milk, and fruit and vegetable juices. Dairy is widely eaten, with 85% of citizens eating a form of dairy product, along with milk being consumed twice as much as cheese. 7 out of 10 people intake meat products, with ham being the most processed meat that is consumed. Almost all Australians from ages 2 to 18, along with 9 out of 10 adults ages 19 and older, do not eat the recommended daily value serving of vegetables. And despite their fruit intake being closer to the recommended daily servings, 4 out of 5 adults ages 19 to 50 do not eat enough fruit. An extensive amount of Australian diet consists of discretionary foods, also known as junk food, which are foods that are high in energy but also high in saturated fats, added sugars, and sodium, which even include alcohol. The intake of discretionary foods do not add any nutritional value to their diet, such as sodas, sweet pastries, processed meat, and butter. These are some examples of leading contributors in added sugars and saturated fat intake in all age groups. Among adults, more than 1 out of 5 alcoholic beverages are responsible for discretionary food intake. Here I have a graph that shows the average consumption of junk food, categorized by age and sex. In males, the highest average intake of junk food is between the ages of 14 to 18 years old, while in females, although showing that females do not eat as much junk food as males do on average, the age group of 9 to 11-year-olds has the highest average intake. Here I have another graph that shows the percentage of food that contributes to the discretionary food intake. From ages 2 to 6 years old, there is about an equal amount of biscuits and pastries being the most consumed, while people ages 19 to 71 and over have a close amount of alcohol being the highest. However, the high consumption of cakes, muffins, and sweet pastries are consistent between all ages. Now let's talk about health issues in Australia. One health issue in Australia is the increasing amount of obesity. The rate of citizens in Australia that are considered severely obese has doubled 9.4% in over 2 decades. This makes Australia one of the worst in the developed world in terms of level of obesity, ranking Australia 5th. The increase of obesity leads to the leading health issue in Australia, cardiovascular diseases. According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics 2017 to 18 National Health Survey, about 1.2 million Australian adults 18 years and over reported to have one or several conditions relating to heart conditions, including stroke. There is a higher prevalence of heart, stroke, and vascular disease among adult men, 6.5%, than in women, which is 4.8%, with a higher increase in men 75 years and older, which is about 1 in 4. Included in cardiovascular diseases are coronary heart disease and stroke. In women, coronary heart disease is prevalent in about 1.9% out of 580,300 adults surveyed, and it is about twice as high in men, which is 3.8%. During 2015, about 394,000 Australians experienced a stroke, and in 2016, there was about 37,800 events of strokes in Australia, that being more than 100 every day, according to hospital and mortality data. Now, let's talk about the connection between Australia's diet and their health issues. According to the World Health Organization, the most significant behavioral risk factors of heart disease and stroke are unhealthy diet, physical inactivity, smoking, and harmful use of alcohol. The Australian diet has a large intake of junk food that are high in sugars, saturated fats, and sodium, but a low intake of nutritious food, such as fruits, vegetables, and high-fiber grains. An excessive amount of sugar can lead to weight gain, and high blood pressure causes inflammation to blood vessels. The high intake of sodium causes high blood pressure because the salt increases the blood volume, making the heart work severely. Lastly, the high consumption of saturated fats affects the blood vessels by building up LDL cholesterol, which is also known as the bad cholesterol. This buildup forms plaque on the blood vessel walls, causing damage. All these factors contribute to the issue of heart disease. Obesity is also a risk factor of cardiovascular disease as well. The cause of obesity could be due to the high amounts of discretionary food consumed, with the added factor of lack in physical activity. The influence of globalization. The influence of globalization on Australia is the increase of fast food restaurants in the country. The fast food industry is the fastest growing industry in the Australian food market. In the past 5 years, the market has expanded about 30%. The growing industry of fast food has also made home-cooked meals a thing of the past. In 2015 to 16, Australians spent 34% on fast food. This is an increase from 25% in 1988 to 89, and then 31% in 2009 to 2010. While the fast food industry is growing, the prevalence of obesity is growing as well. The high prevalence of fast foods contribute to the diet of junk foods, which is a cause of the high prevalence of heart diseases. Solutions. Some solutions I suggest is to start healthy eating habits at a young age. In the second graph shown in the earlier slides, it shows the most junk foods consumed according to age. The earliest age is from 2 to 3 years old. I think that instead of getting sweets for kids, fruits could be given instead. Starting healthy eating habits at a young age could allow for the healthy habits to progress further into adulthood. Another solution I suggest is to have further education for the general public. The benefits of fruits and vegetables could be put on posters around the country with positive connotations that, if followed, there is a high chance of preventing health issues in the future. The reduction of discretionary food intake would be a solution as well. The replacement of fruits in place of junk food could be a start, as well as the replacement of alcohol with water. The Australian National Health and Medical Research Council provides a dietary guideline for children and adults. It recommends what foods to eat and what foods to eat less. The guideline provides advice for health wellness with the aims to reduce the risk of conditions relating to diet and chronic diseases. Thank you for listening to my presentation.